Can you afford the 2026 Honda Passport? Well, for this example, I have chosen the mid-level Trail Sport model to do an example on. And this vehicle with destination, it's going to be $49,900. And we can look at both the finance and the lease numbers. So to get the finance interest rates, you simply go on to the manufacturer's website, in this case Honda. And for the 2026 Passport, here are the incentivized finance programs. It's going to be 3.99% for up to 36 months and 4.99% for up to 60 months. That's pretty awful. Regardless though, we will use both of those numbers. You can also extend the term to 72 months, but then your interest rate becomes 5.99. That's just diabolical for a new vehicle, but it is what it is. Of course, lease programs, interest rates, incentives, all of these things, they change every month. So if you're watching this video in the future, these numbers will be different and can even improve, but this should serve as a pretty good baseline moving forward. Now, before running the numbers, I definitely suggest people to negotiate and to get some money off the MSRP. I get it, the new Passport, it's all new. Some dealerships are even charging markups on this thing. But personally, I have partnered with AutoCompanion, one of the largest concierge services in the United States for new vehicles, and their partner dealerships in the Washington, D.C. area, they're actually offering 5% off the MSRP on a new 2026 Passport for all of the trims. So that's close to $2,600 off. But keep in mind though, they do charge a concierge fee to access these deals. It's about $999. They did say that if you reach out to them and you mention my channel, they'll take some money off of their fee. I'm not sure how much, but for right now, I'll just roll with $50 off. So a $949 fee. Still, you're saving about $1,500 off the MSRP. That's not bad for a rather in-demand SUV. And I like to use calculator.net to calculate finance numbers. So with AutoCompanion's discount, including their concierge fee, the amount that we are going to be financing, it's going to be $48,354 for 60 months at 4.99%. With all of the taxes and fees included, you're going to be at $992.86 per month. And yeah, that's for people who have perfect credit, mind you. Now, we also saw on Honda's website that if you're blessed enough to do a 36-month finance term, you can get a lower interest rate at 3.99%. But with all the taxes and fees, that's going to set you back $1,553.47 per month. You're saving a little over $3,000 in interest compared to the 5-year loan, but still, that's a big payment. And in order to afford these payments, Kelley Blue Book suggests that your car payment plus the insurance and the fuel, it should not be any more than 10 to 20% of your net monthly take-home pay. So to find the average fuel cost and the insurance costs, I just Googled it, and the Google AI, it spat out some numbers. Regarding the fuel, they say it's going to cost about $2,300 per year. And that's assuming that you're getting about 21 MPGs combined at an estimated fuel cost of $3.42 per gallon. Honestly, I thought that this figure was quite low. I mean, this Honda Passport, it does have the naturally aspirated V6. If you're driving a bit more aggressively, you're not going to get amazing fuel economy. Plus, certain states have crazy high fuel costs. So I'm just going to round up like crazy and just say $3,000 per year, which equates to $250 a month. I also did the same for the insurance as well. Google AI, it spat out $2,446 per year. It's about $208 a month. I'm going to overinflate this as well to $3,000 a year, which will also be $250 a month. The only reason why I'm doing that is because actually the majority of my audience watching in the US, they're located in California, New York, Florida, etc. And they always have crazy high expenses for everything. Plus, not to mention, certain states might actually have a perpetual property tax that you have to pay annually. And in case I missed out on anything else, these overinflated numbers can compensate for that if it makes sense. So we're rolling with $250 a month for both the insurance and the fuel, just to make everyone happy. That means your total finance cost for the first example at 4.99% for 60 months, including fuel, including insurance, that's going to set you back $1,492.86 per month. The 36-month finance, that's going to set you back $2,053.47. A crazy high payment like that can get you into the exotic car territory, but I digress. Here's how much income you need to produce to afford the Passport at the 4.99% calculation for 60 months. You have to be bringing in a net monthly take home of between $7,464 a month and $14,928 per month as your net monthly take home for this to be between 10 to 20% of your income. That's wild. For the 36-month finance, you got to be bringing in between $10,000 to $20,000 net monthly income. 20 bands. My goodness. And that's every month as your net monthly take home. I have to keep emphasizing that. Now understand, I definitely overinflated the insurance and the fuel. Those of us living in the more reasonable states who are maybe paying like $150 for insurance, $150 for fuel. You know, we have like a Costco membership or something and we don't drive a lot. Your total insurance and fuel might only be setting you back $300 a month, which is $200 less than this example. If that's the case, then you can literally subtract $2,000 from the recommended net monthly income that I just stated. So that helps out a ton. You know, if you're overpaying for insurance, definitely shop it around. And when I say shop around, I mean with the legitimate companies, not these weird insurance companies that will say, oh, we'll insure your car for like $5 a month. No, not those people. I mean the reputable insurance brands. Shop it around with them. And I think some people who are overpaying for insurance, they might be like renters or something, and they're not combining things like home insurance with their car and with like a term life insurance or something. They're not combining all of these things. But who knows, if you're renting an apartment, maybe you can get renter's insurance if you don't already have that to protect your personal belongings. And that way, maybe your insurance company might cut you some slack and give you a multi-policy discount. Worth asking about and worth looking into. And also regarding the fuel, definitely consider getting a Costco or a Sam's Club membership. Savings are out there if you look for it. Now, how's the lease on a 2026 Passport? Well, when you go on AutoCompanion's website, he actually has a built-in calculator into his site, so it's pretty easy to see the lease numbers. With this 5% off discount for 3 years, 10,000 miles in a state like Pennsylvania, with all the taxes and fees included, you're going to be paying about $750 a month, and that's with the first month's payment due at start. But that does not include AutoCompanion's concierge fee, so you might want to just add an extra $26 a month to the calculation. I believe I forgot to do that here, but not a big deal. You can just add $26 to get the proper results. But yeah, about $750 a month plus $500 for insurance and fuel. You're going to be paying a total lease payment of $1,249.45. Honestly, $750 a month, that is quite high for a vehicle of this MSRP. This is clearly a new automobile, so it does not have crazy good, interest rates and lease programs, although this can improve in the future. I'm just recording this video June of 2025. But $1,249 a month total cost. That means for this to be 20% of your net monthly income, you got to be bringing in $6,247 per month. And for that lease payment to be 10% of your net monthly income, you should be bringing in $12,494.50 per month. Now, this video is about the 2026 Passport, but if you wanted to save even more and you absolutely love the Honda brand, then you might want to consider looking into the 2025 Passport as well. Yes, that previous generation design, but hey, it's still got that naturally aspirated V6 engine, still a decent SUV. And regarding the 2025 Passport, AutoCompanion is actually offering 10% off the MSRP. I believe that is definitely below invoice. And if you lease that 2025 Passport, you actually get an additional $1,250 as a lease incentive. So the total discount on that, it's close to $6,000 off, even with AutoCompanion's concierge fee. It's about $5,000 off the MSRP when you lease a 2025 Passport. And this is why I partnered with AutoCompanion, and this is why I share his information on many of my videos, because this is a great resource to save on pretty desirable vehicles. And the good thing about something like a Honda Passport is it doesn't necessarily crash in value right away. Of course, hindsight is 2020, but you get what I'm trying to say here. And with a higher discount and with a naturally lower MSRP than the 2026 model year, and with better incentives and much better incentivized finance programs, your payments go down considerably to the point where, on the lease, it's about $550 a month. Add another $500 for the insurance and the fuel. You're at a little over $1,000 a month for a 2025 Passport lease. That means you got to be bringing in about $5,200 to $10,500 a month to comfortably afford the lease on a 2025 Passport. Once again, you can subtract about $2,000 off of those estimates. If you live in a more normal state with less insurance and with less fuel costs, finance programs on a 2025 Passport significantly better, 1.99% for 60 months and 0.99 for 36 months. For that 1.99%, in order to comfortably afford that, you got to be bringing in between $6,600 to $13,200 a month. For the 0.99% for 36 months, you got to be bringing in about $9,100 to $18,300 per month. Once again, you have to subtract about $2,000 off of those income estimates if your total insurance and fuel costs are going to be around $300 a month. Keep in mind, for the finance payments, I assume that you're putting zero money down. For the lease payments, I'm assuming that you're just putting the first month's payment due at start. So obviously, still an expensive vehicle no matter how you try to slice it. Things become more obtainable when you lease a 2025 Passport and you live in a more reasonable state. But the 2026 Passport, that's the new hot vehicle, so I just want to run numbers on that as well. And also share with you AutoCompanion as a resource to share. If you appreciated that, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to work with AutoCompanion, he is primarily located in the Washington, D.C. area. He is able to offer nationwide shipping, although shipping is something you have to pay extra for. Of course, if you could pick up locally, you can avoid that shipping charge for sure. And he also said that if you sign up on his website and you mention my channel, he'll take some money off of his concierge fee. All of that is great. The savings is good, but the main reason why I appreciate AutoCompanion is the seamless buying process. There's no headaches, there's no hassle, and their dealerships are not going to screw you over. See, the thing is, even if you do get a Passport at a reasonable price at your local dealership, what a lot of these local dealers do is they like to tack on a lot of these garbage nonsense fees like nitrogen fees, tint fees, etc., and really overinflate their prices. With AutoCompanion, there's none of those shenanigans, and even the dealer fees are pretty reasonable as well, on the lower side for sure. So there's more to it than just the face value savings off the MSRP of the vehicle. The whole package buying experience is just such a pleasure, and you don't have to deal with any of those manipulation games. So I'll have AutoCompanion's information below, and comment your thoughts regarding the income needed to afford some of these newer SUVs. Leasing definitely makes certain vehicles a lot more obtainable, but it really depends on the vehicle and if that certain month has incentivized programs. Fortunately, AutoCompanion's website does update every single month with the latest programs, so that's a great thing. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. Take care and goodbye.